Okay, this is the last video on the Palworld controversy because we need to set the record straight as to what's going on. So much nonsense has happened so quickly, it's been difficult to keep up, but this buries it. Don't believe the lies that Palworld is using AI-generated art. Liars are claiming that Palworld used AI art based on a post made by their CEO. The problem is, he was talking about BuzzFeed using AI to create Fakemon, not Pocket Pair staff. So the desperate posts like this, just lies. Wow, the Pokemon community being malicious and lying. Who would have seen it coming? I didn't try to address or debunk this in my other videos because I don't care if developers use AI art. There's nothing wrong with AI. It's just BS leftist outrage because they only know hate and toxicity, and if they can't get something canceled, they'll just keep lying about it until they're successful or destroy themselves and then go private. Aw, look at you lying and making reaches and then closing replies. When the post showing Game Freak's clear influence from Dragon Quest landed, the meltdown went Chernobyl, and then things got even crazier. But yeah, look at this. Isn't this from Palworld? This is a whole-ass Leafeon. Sir, Leafeon isn't a squirrel, and they certainly can't use guns. Also, here's something I didn't know. Under Steam TOS, wouldn't they have to disclose if they use generative AI? I've been seeing a lot of comments of people saying, yeah, Steam is really strict about that. So for Palworld to be featured on the Steam homepage, and also after pulling all of these numbers, they wouldn't be able to get away with that. Gets even better for that as well. Everyone's talked about Palworld and it using AI to make its designs. I feel that's because AI is so prominent now. But people forget this game had a trailer 3 years ago. It didn't come out of nowhere and had work put in. And that's like what my big thing about this is. Why is Pokemon trying to cancel Palworld now when we've known about all of this for 2.5 years from the first trailer? Also, over half the Pals were shown before release, and a lot of them got their own trailer. They could have been picking this apart for months, if not years, because again, you have the other trailers. But no, it's only like right before release when everyone realized, yo, this is actually a great game, and you can't dismiss it as Pokemon with guns, because it's not that. But then the ultimate debunk of, wait a second, most of these Pals were already made before AI was even a thing or competent. Oh, and then the losers still can't cope. It's not just the AI, it's the fact that they barely even tried to make it distinct. It's more Arc than Pokemon. And this is, again, where you just see, like, the complete derangement of, oh, every monster collector is ripping off Pokemon, but that's okay when we have things like Temtem and Nexomon, or whatever these other ones are called. Fan project ROM hacks, stealing Pokemon game assets to build those ROM hacks, IP infringement, all of that is cool. Also, no, Pokemon never even, like, infringed Dragon Quest because Pokemon is that unique and owns the IP of every natural creature. Oh yeah, I also forgot about Elastrals. Funny how the same people who trash on Palworld say nothing but praise for Elastrals. Makes you wonder. It's just the Pokemon hypocrisy that I've been covering for over a decade. Same thing with toxicity. The Pokemon community cannot exist without hatred anymore, and it's sad. But at least Verlisify always right. However, the Pokemon community is just so shit now, it's not even worth it. Damn. And then more lies from terminally online weirdos. Nobody is claiming Palworld uses AI art. Anyone paying attention knows that's most of the arguments now because it's getting that desperate. And here's an example of someone replying to me. So this started when someone said there's a difference between your own spin on a concept and plagiarism, which Palworld is being accused of. And again, like, it's just an accusation because there is no plagiarism, and lawyers have even stepped in to be like, no, there's no plagiarism. And just the eye test, you look at it, yeah, these are unique creatures that distinguish themselves enough to where the game can actually be sold on Steam. And even then, the whole Palworld stealing Pokemon designs thing doesn't make any sense because everyone talks about how fearful you need to be of the Nintendo ninjas. You can't accidentally sneeze in a way that sounds similar to a Nintendo IP without getting sued. But Palworld's just fine to launch, even despite the theft. So I ask how this is plagiarism, and this idiot, they literally took Pokemon assets and threw them in an AI blender to somehow get 3D models. Except they didn't. There isn't a 3D AI blender that makes functioning models. Incredible display of non-functioning IQ. They edited them afterwards. This guy actually believes. Like, they took Pokemon models, threw them into some magical AI that spit out close enough models of the Pals that exist in Palworld, and that's proof of plagiarism. even though we're not even close to 3D AI because 2D AI isn't even there yet. So yes, most of the people involved in this actually believe that Palworld did some magic AI stuff to create their pals, even though, again, like, these Fakemon concepts have existed forever, and the game was also when AI was not even functioning. And something worth noting is that the devs put out a massive blog days before release talking about the story of Palworld, the successes and failures, mostly failures, the struggles that they've gone through, their influences, the miracles that were needed to bring Palworld to life, and it's a long post. So it's not only the Pokemon community lying and being malicious, it's the evil that I've been covering in the Pokemon community for over a decade as well, in full swing, trying to destroy a passion project, trying to destroy indie devs, which these people say need to be supported at all costs because crunch is bad and AAA developers are lazy and we need, you know, real fair market competition. So a fully fleshed out passion project becomes one of the best success stories in gaming, and it must be destroyed for absolutely no reason. Because again, it's all the hypocrisy that just doesn't make any sense. Where actual theft is being downplayed as a fan project, these devs actually create something by themselves, and then it's just not good. And then because the first accusations didn't stick for being completely stupid, I covered that in my last video where, oh, the IGN article that just neutrally covered the situation was called harassment because it exposed this to the general gaming community, and then everyone looked at them and realized they're idiots. You know, when that didn't work, now we have to go into AI, which was also just founded in lies. And then you see how much went into this blog, over 3 years of work to make Palworld a reality, and people still think this is just like a cash grab AI grift bro thing and whatever other like rip-off nonsense. But then, you know, they turn around and support Temtem and Elastrals. There's over 100 monsters in Palworld. Each monster skeleton is different. On top of that, they all have unique shapes. We even get into more about it where they say it doesn't matter if it's small, we make everything ourselves and then release it ourselves, talking about the games that they've made. Realizing this, I started developing Over Dungeon, another game that's trying to be like attacked by just this hate mob with the devs. A combination of my favorite games at the time, Slay the Spire and Clash Royale. They talk about the miracles that needed to happen for Palworld to exist. Miracle 1, 20-year-old convenience store worker with no experience in the industry becomes our ace. Yo, you gotta give the up-and-comer a chance, and you got rewarded for it. So you love to see, like, that's what you want to hear in a success story. Miracle 2, successfully migrated the engine from Unity to Unreal Engine 4. All existing code was discarded, not a single person in the company with experience for Unreal Engine. So Palworld almost failed because they had to, like, make the shift. And they ended up making it happen. Creating over 100 monsters, not a single person in the company with experience for motion design. Miracle 4, barely managing the budget. 1 billion yen. That's over 6 million US dollars. They put everything, all their profits from their previous game, all their investor money into making Palworld, and it barely succeeded after a $6 million investment. How fucking evil do you have to be to attack these developers and their project? Well, that's also just the Pokemon community. Miracle 5, new graduate who was rejected ended up being the most important position. Miracle 6, Palworld turned out to be an extremely interesting game. And I mean, yeah, it started off as like a silly Pokemon with Guns meme, and then it became more arc than Pokemon, and completely removed as Pokemon with Guns, and its own just incredible experience that like takes all the best of survival crafting because they made their passion project a success. And even then, they also want to note that Palworld is different from Arc. You know, different stylization with the graphics and their creatures called Pals, building a base where Pals operate autonomously, taking inspiration from RimWorld. That was in their Q&A that they did a couple months ago. Differences in taming methods, correct. You can also change the various techniques for each Pal. It's like actively showing how they are avoiding plagiarism or copyright or trying to just copy someone else's IP to make a better, unique experience, which they succeeded on. Which is also why there's no case that they stole from Pokemon here. You can also freely change the techniques for each Pal, and yeah, the freedom and customization and training of the Pals isn't just a rip of Pokemon either. So there's all those characteristics and many other minor differences. And that brings us to another crazy thing that Palworld isn't getting respect for, and that's being honest in the buildup of the game. AAA titles hide their performance issues, they cover up the parts that they know gamers aren't going to like about their game. I remember the whole like Starfield controversy when people got to play it early and they went, oh, the planet isn't even fully accessible, you're just in a small little ring that has Fallout points and markers to go to, and that's it. And then people got upset about that. With Palworld, what you see is what you get from all the trailers. Yeah, some things have changed from like the earliest trailers, but there was no under-delivering here. It over-delivered. It's more complex and solid gameplay than you could have ever extracted from the trailers. And that's not being rewarded from an indie developer. This is what the gaming community claims to want. An honest indie developer that smashes AAA titles with a passion project. And the best part is, it exposes the Pokemon community for all the evil that I've been talking about for over a decade, because the general gaming community has realized, wait, this is just actually an incredible game. Either way, Palworld delivered on what it promised, and it turned out to be just like the complete gaming experience everyone wanted for all genres of gaming. And I'm happy for that, but again, which makes it even like worse to see all of these hate campaigns that completely fall apart anyways. But at least, you know, it's just idiots in the Pokemon community, and most people aren't buying it because they're actually humans. Alright, there we go, guys. Hope you enjoy the video. I think this is a good way to just kind of like cap off all of the controversy. Palworld wins anyways, and it's only going to get better from here. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day.